see headlines, of course, with the King and His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, Prince William, attacking each other, you have to look and say, hang on, how true is that particular story? And as you know, as many people who watch this show on a regular basis know, it really serves the purpose of none other than the others, say, across the pond. Because really the sort of narrative that they'd like to put over is the fact that His Majesty the King and Prince William are at loggerheads because they don't get on, and what's really needed is the placating of none other than Prince Harry. You get the picture. But the true story behind the scene really is the fact that, yes, His Majesty the King, still battling cancer, having good days and bad days, naturally quite a grumpy at points, you can understand, time, because, you know, you just feel good one minute and you don't. Anybody who's suffering illness out there, you know what I mean, right? You have a moment where you think, you know what, I could do that washing up. 10 minutes later, you think, I can't be bothered. Am I right? And that's the problem. So they read that as, oh, it's difficult. They're having clashes. Now, let me explain, because this is a story that's going to gather a little bit more momentum as we go further and further down into the festive season. As ever, let me explain. Hi, good to see you, chums. Thank you so much as ever for joining me today. And are you ready for Christmas? Yes, we're now into it, aren't we, basically? Not too long to go, although it seems like it's been going on forever. And I don't know about you, but as I said, I'm very much like Alistair Sim and Scrooge. I only like the moment as it gets nearer the official point. You know, why do we need it all for months in advance? People know you can shop now. It's not like the old days where you had to get your Christmas cake, your mince pies ready, all of that sort of stuff. You can buy everything if you want, and literally the stores are open anyway, aren't they, 24/7? So it's not as if you need the siege mentality to fill up on food. It's a bit different, of course, if you are senior members of the British monarchy, particularly this year. I mean, it's going to be rather tricky, or is it, regarding the disgraced former royal, Prince Andrew, the Duke of York. No sign, of course, of Sarah Ferguson. She certainly won't be on site. What I can tell you, though, is that it was mooted at some point that maybe she could be invited, but she herself apparently has now made other plans, and I think that's the wise and best thing to do when you think it just doesn't bode well, does it? But of course it's the bigger picture of exactly how now the royals are going to spend Christmas Day. You see, every year we look forward to seeing them on the royal walk, going to church. It's just part and parcel of it. We have the King's speech, and it's very nice. It makes us what we feel tradition here in the United Kingdom, alongside, of course, carols at Christmas from Catherine, the Princess of Wales. But now there's a story circulating that Prince William and His Majesty the King are no longer speaking and are planning not to spend Christmas together. And this apparently all comes from the fact the way that the King has handled the Prince Andrew affair. And remember, this really culminated at the Duchess of Kent's funeral at Westminster Cathedral. It was there, wasn't it, for the world to see William get away, you know, and basically it all underfelt. William hard drove where we are at now with the removal of the website, with, of course, you know, but the King really has the final say. But was there any confliction? A little bit, I can tell you, but not as much has been written about, because even His Majesty the King has basically thought, well, we have to act, we have to do something, and so they have. Many suggest you need to put your foot down on the brake of that one and go back now to the other two and remove those off the website, but that's a by story. So where is this particular story circulating from? Well, the bottom line is all of the royals will be gathering for Christmas, right? And so the story of them not spending Christmas Day together is technically not true. What happens? They will all attend church together, as they do, with the children, because that's part of it. That's what the public expects, the subjects, and then they all disperse. There's drinks and mince pies and coffees and all that sort of stuff. The big traditional Christmas lunch will happen. Catherine and William will be there, right? And the bottom line is they are there because they gather round to watch the King's speech. The way this is being curtailed is that they're separated. Normally what happens after that point, people just disperse, as most families do on Christmas Day. 4:35, people start to get back because it's getting dark, all of that sort of stuff. I have this from an excellent family member who will be attending, right? So for all of those people saying the King and William loggerheads Christmas, truly do not believe what you read. The true story is that is the formation of the day. And like everybody, they don't spend it hammered together. Very quickly after that, William and Catherine are going to be going away for a short break. And why not, if you can afford it? And the bottom line is the king will then carry on with his duties. It's a formula that's been in place for many, many years. So suddenly why this has become a big story is, well, baffling to many, none more so than behind palace walls. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.